Hey everyone, so here they are. On my left, I have the iPhone 17 in this really nice lavender color, and on my right, the iPhone 17 Pro in silver. I've been using both of these side by side for about over a week now. The Pro has been my main daily driver, and the base 17 has been my secondary phone. And I have to be honest, this year, the line between the base model and the Pro model has never been blurrier, which makes the decision of which one to buy a lot tougher. So in this video, we're gonna do a direct side-by-side comparison to help you figure that out. We'll look at the design and this whole scratchgate thing with the Pro, the displays which are surprisingly similar this year, the performance and the Pro's secret weapon for cooling, and of course, the cameras. If you're thinking about buying one of these or maybe upgrading from an older iPhone, stick around. Let's figure this out together. Alright, let's start with the design and how they feel in the hand. Side by side, you can see they share a similar DNA. Both have these incredibly thin bezels, which we'll get to in a minute, and a more rounded feel to the edges, which makes them really comfortable to hold. But the big difference is in the materials and the camera module. The iPhone 17 here has a familiar aluminum frame and a standard glass back. It feels great, it's what we expect from a base model iPhone. The Pro, however, has this new unibody aluminum design, and instead of a camera bump, it has this new camera plateau. Honestly, when I first saw the Pro's design in pictures, I thought it was a bit weird, but after using it, I really love it. It makes the older Pro models feel kind of dated now. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it down in the comments. But we have to talk about the issue with the Pro's new design, scratchgate. You've probably seen the headlines because Apple switched from titanium back to aluminum for the Pro. There have been a lot of reports of the finish on the colored models, especially the cosmic orange and deep blue, scratching and chipping very easily. Now, from what the experts are saying, it's not just that aluminum is a softer material. The issue seems to be the very sharp corners on this new camera plateau. The process that adds the color, called anodization, creates a protective layer that's just more brittle and not as strong on those hard edges. So if it gets bumped, the color can flake off. This is exactly why I chose the silver model for my Pro. It's basically raw aluminum, so if it gets any minor scuffs, they'll be much harder to see. My advice is, if you go for the Pro this year, you should probably plan on using a case. The standard 17 doesn't seem to have this issue because it's literally different design language. Now, let's talk about the screens because this is where things get really interesting this year. For the first time ever, both the base iPhone 17 and the iPhone 17 Pro have ProMotion displays. That's right, both of these screens can ramp all the way up to a super smooth 120Hz and down to 1Hz to save battery with the always-on display. This is a massive upgrade for the base model. For years, the 60Hz screen was the biggest reason to spend more on a Pro model, and now that reason is gone. This one feature completely transforms the experience of using the base 17. It finally feels like a Pro model. Every scroll, every animation, especially with the new liquid glass style in iOS 26, is just buttery smooth on both of these phones. The viewing experience is practically identical and is fantastic on both. Okay, so they both have amazing screens, but what's powering them? Well, the iPhone 17 has the new A19 chip, and the 17 Pro has the A19 Pro. As you'd expect, both of them are incredibly fast. I ran Geekbench 6 on both, and you can see the scores right here. The 17 scored an insane 3,573 on single core and 9,143 on multi-core. The 17 Pro is a bit faster with 3,822 on single core and a massive 9,848 on multi-core. For perspective, that multi-core score on the Pro is higher than the M2 chip in an iPad Pro, a desktop level chip. But for everyday tasks, texting, browsing, social media, you're not gonna notice a difference. They both fly. The real difference, and the Pro's secret weapon, is how it handles that power over time. For the first time ever in an iPhone, the 17 Pro has a vapor chamber cooling system. In simple terms, it's a super efficient passive cooling system that spreads heat out incredibly quickly. This is why Apple went back to the aluminum body on the Pro. Aluminum is great at getting rid of heat, so it works with the vapor chamber to keep the phone cool. And this is a legitimate game changer. I felt it from the moment I started setting the Pro up. Usually, iPhones get pretty warm during that process, but this one stayed noticeably cool. Over the past week, I have never felt this phone get hot. The base 17 can still get a bit warm under heavy load, but the Pro just stays cool. This means for things like long gaming sessions or shooting a lot of high-res video, the Pro can maintain its peak performance for much longer without slowing down. Okay, let's talk about one of the most important things for any phone, battery life. And in this comparison, there is a very clear winner. In standardized tests, the results are pretty stark. The base iPhone 17 lasted for about 12 hours and 47 minutes of continuous web surfing. That's okay. It's basically the same as last year's model, and it'll get most people through a day, but heavy users might find themselves reaching for a charger before bed. The iPhone 17 Pro, on the other hand, is in a different league. It lasted for a massive 15 hours and 32 minutes in the same test. In my week of using it as my main phone, the battery has been phenomenal. It's easily an all-day phone even with heavy use, and with lighter use I could definitely stretch it to 2 days. So why is there such a huge gap? Well, it comes down to 3 things. First, the Pro just has a physically larger battery. It got a huge 19% capacity increase over last year, while the base 17 only got a small bump. Second, that A19 Pro chip is incredibly efficient, delivering more performance while using less power than its rivals. But the third reason is that vapor chamber we talked about. By keeping the phone cooler, it allows the chip to run more efficiently, and it also protects the battery itself from heat, which degrades it over time. This means the Pro not only lasts longer on a daily basis, but its battery health should also hold up better in the long run. So if battery life is one of your top priorities, the decision is pretty simple. The iPhone 17 is adequate, but the iPhone 17 Pro is a true battery champion. Alright, let's flip them over and talk cameras. And we'll start with the front camera because it's a new feature they both share. As you've probably seen online, the front camera on the entire 17 series is a huge upgrade. You can get this super wide landscape style shot for selfies or video calls without actually turning your phone sideways. It's fun, it's functional, and it's great to see on both models. The real difference is on the back. The iPhone 17 has a fantastic new dual 48 megapixel system. The photos are great, it's a solid setup. The iPhone 17 Pro also has a 48 megapixel main and ultra wide, but it adds a third lens, a 4x optical telephoto lens, and can do a sensor crop that results in an 8x optical quality zoom. And that telephoto lens is the key difference. It means you can zoom into 4x and 8x and get a perfectly clear, sharp image. Whereas the base 17 has to use digital zoom, which is essentially just cropping the image. The Pro can also shoot video in 4K at 120 frames per second, which is incredible for slow motion. Alright, so after using both side by side for a week, which one should you get? This year, the iPhone 17 is a truly fantastic phone. The biggest downside of past base models, that 60Hz display, is finally gone. If you want a phenomenal all-around phone that finally gives you a pro experience with a super fast chip and great cameras, the iPhone 17 is the one to get. For the vast majority of people, this is the best value and the smartest choice. But if you're a power user, a creator, or a serious mobile gamer, the iPhone 17 Pro is built for you. You should spend the extra money if you're someone who will really use that telephoto lens for photography, or if you're going to be pushing the phone to its limits with heavy tasks, where that advanced vapor chamber cooling will make a real difference in sustained performance. So that's my take. The base 17 is so good this year, it's my default recommendation, but the Pro offers meaningful upgrades for those who truly need them. I'm really curious to hear what you all think. Let me know down in the comments which one you'd pick or if you have any questions. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.